This is part 2 of my Gap and Go trades. I ended the last video on Intel. I just want to say very quickly that by the end of the week, the middle of the trend could take us down to 1722. Now moving on, the next ticker is Rivn. We ended the day at $12.38, down 3.81%. And for this week, we are still in that downward channel. This is where we ended. To the north side takes us to the middle of the trend, and that is now 1246. That is resistance. And speaking of resistance, another level at 2 standard deviations takes us to 1271. Another outlier, 1283 and 1296. To the south side, because there's always a south side, 1220, 1206, and 1194. Now let's take a look at this gap, which opened up on Friday. So this will extend into the upcoming week. But again, we're moving farther away from this, but this will act as resistance if we touch this point or this point. And this gap touched right here. I almost nailed it from the previous week where I just extended it and just stopped, and it almost stopped at that area. That took us down to 1241. So that is no longer a threat to our account. Congrats if you went short. And check that out. So we went from here all the way up to closing it out. That took from Thursday the 17th all the way to August the 1st. So let's delete that. Makes the chart look a little bit tidier, although that's all relative to all these other lines. The yellow horizontal lines are from 2024. 2025 is the purple lines, and look, we're just heading back into a territory we've already been. All right. So at the end of the week, the middle of the trend could land us at 1126. Oh, what happened? Let me do one other thing. So what happened the previous week? Well, we were at resistance, and you know what happens? Fell down to support, grinding along the middle of the trend there. This is another clear support signal. We bounced up to resistance, slicing through the middle of the trend there a little bit, right? Well, pretty much on it. And then now we're just stair-stepping down. So we need a bounce. Hopefully we'll get some good news this week. And the last one I want to do is Sofi. Not doing so fine. We're still in a downward channel, but not as aggressive as the other tickers I just went through. So 2123 is where we ended. The middle of the trend is now here. 2304, 2382, 2459. 1974, 1896-ish, and 1820-ish. This gap is still in play. Okay. This gap to 2104 touched on right there on Wednesday. It opened up on Tuesday, so congrats if you went short for this anticipated move to the downside. And then this one also touched on Friday to the downside, 2265, so congrats. So we've got this one and then this one to deal with, and another one down here. Okay, and then what happened last week, previous week, resistance, clear sell-off, clear bounce, clear sell-off. And then this is resistance, and we fell down. So watch out for these gaps to the south side. We're getting closer to them. Oh, and I extended this way too far. That closed to the upside on Tuesday. and that took us to roughly 2281, started at 2260. And where did, look at this. Wow. I have to go to the daily to show you this because I can't pull it left anymore. Oh my goodness, that opened up on November 17th of 2021. Wow, that is nuts. But it's right there. I have to show you this video, this picture in a second. Okay, so congrats. This is the gap that I was tracking from 2021. Can you believe that? Okay. And to the north side, I'll extend the other ones later, but it's moving farther away from it. And then I just recently went to a car show, and look at this license, SP500. It cracked me up. I loved it. Very nice car. So that does it for me. If there is a ticker that you would like me to go over, please let me know. And have a great trading week.